Decoy the UK is finally waking up. Wait, what happened here? Why is there a girl with an axe? What the she's fucking dual wielding, dude. Holy crap.
How does a country like Scotland become so dangerous that little girls carry around axes? And what's worse,
Isn't Scotland like where they lock you up for teaching your dog how to throw a Roman?
is why is the media making them out to be the villain? As this video from Scotland is going viral.
Why you fucking with us?
Get bastards!
Show the knife. Show the knife. Show the
away from us!
Show the knife. Show the knife.
Don't touch her!
That's it. That's it. Show the knife. That's it.
Don't f***ing touch my little sister! She has 12!
What the hell's going on?
She has 12 and you just bastards me!
But rest assured, Scotland, the girl has been arrested. Like most viral videos, we're only seeing a brief
Why was she brandishing a knife? Wait, what's going on?
glimpse into an incident that was likely much longer. But I'm not certain how much context you need on a grown man antagonizing kids yelling, "Stay away from us," as the UK has had several reports of girls being horrendously attacked by specific men, and it is a crime for them to even carry pepper spray to protect themselves.
Yeah,
so it makes sense.
You want to know what happened, guys? This is a true story. I had a friend who was like telling me like, yeah, it's like getting kind of like dangerous. It's like kind of scary. A European friend. And I told her like, why don't you just get pepper spray? And she was like, oh, it's illegal here. And she got assaulted like literally like the month after. Isn't that crazy? And I was like, dude, like your country doesn't even let you have pepper spray? That's fucking crazy. She should have a fucking gun. This is ridiculous. What the hell?
But sure, there is a possibility these kids were on a crime spree. It just doesn't explain why this particular adult was interacting.
I just don't understand like this whole like we should make it so that law-abiding people can't protect themselves. Actually stupid, man. Like, dude, that's like tyrannical. That's like straight up tyranny. Am I wrong, chat? That's straight up tyrannical behavior.
With them in the first place. And given how much social media outrage is occurring over the incident, you'd be certain the corporate media would explain why the girl, and only the girl, needed to be arrested. But no, days later local outlets are only saying the female youth was arrested over the bladed weapon, and she will be reported to the relevant authorities.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing on the guy recording, nothing as to why she had the weapons in the first place, which lets you know they're omitting all the inconvenient information as to why little kids in the UK
So what's the story then?
feel the need to carry axes in the street, as Twitter users are hailing her as a hero, with plenty of AI imagery showing her protecting Scotland, and even comparing her to Saint Joan of Arc, highlighting how the question isn't why is she carrying an axe, but why is a grown adult with that accent approaching her. You'd think these are all concerns the mainstream media would want to address, especially considering this story is basically my entire social media feed, but sometimes their silence is all the confirmation we'll get. But what's insane is far left Reddit's replies to Twitter's reaction, saying it's good she was arrested since there was another knife attack.
Wait, the area where she was wielding those weapons was the same area where okay, but my knife attack only a few months back. The street behind her, in fact, zero tolerance got
back near.
But do we even know what happened though? Do we actually know what happened?
5 months earlier, remarking the girls having weapons is going to make the immigrants get weapons to protect themselves from them? And then somebody saying they faced a similar situation, not from the perspective of the kids, but the guy recording, to which every single reply calling him out for being in that situation got massively downvoted. There's a serious situation that needs to be addressed on Reddit, but that's for a different video. It's just insane to think that when a video like this goes viral, Twitter and Instagram's perspective defaults to the kids, and how can we keep the girls safe? Then Reddit defaults to, what about the guy recording? That could have been any Redditor. How can we make everybody more defenseless? But after I saw that Reddit thread of the concerned parent finding out their kid is smoking pot, and Reddit collectively tried to cover for the kid, then shaming the parent for being concerned about it, made me completely lose faith in the collective hive mind of that platform. As there is a
Reddit's been crazy. I saw some Reddit posts about the shooting that happened today. There were some Reddit posts about that, and man, they were fucking crazy, dude.
Concern about viral videos being falsely framed, where this other clip from the UK shows what their police are preoccupied with.
Dude, I'm gonna be real though. I'm gonna be real. I don't really know what happened. I don't know the context of what happened, right? A couple immigrants were trying to groom the sister of the girl with the weapons. Senzaga, thank you so much. Thank you for the sub. I would 100% believe that they were trying to harass her, and she had the knife and the axe to protect herself. I would 100% believe that, but I do want to know a little bit more. Like, I do want to have the evidence on it, because I'm like, guys, I know people don't like me for this. Like, people get really mad at me for this, like, all the time in like YouTube comments, but I actually want to know what happened. Like, I want to understand the situation before I jump to a conclusion, you know? Okay, we got a post here. All right, let's see this. Okay, why don't we just like kind of look this over? Okay, yeah, I like to get, you know, I like to actually get in the weeds and actually see what happened. Because, okay, so like, if you just took what happened in the video in a vacuum, there are ways that it could be her fault. Do you see what I mean? I'll give you an example. Like, if she was just walking and then she saw a person that was like a different skin color, and then she got freaked out, she pulled out her weapons, and then the guy pulled out the phone to record her to be like, dude, this girl's being crazy. That's like one case in which that would, again, I'm not saying that's what happened. I actually kind of believe like the main story, but before I like go all in, I want to like know what happened. Does that make sense? No streamer, just agree. Emotion, that's all you need. Dude, you have no idea how many people have been mad at me for, I don't know if you guys read the comments at all on like YouTube videos, but there's been a ton of people that like, I will say something like that. I'll be like, okay, like, I want the facts. Like, okay, it's not enough information. And people will just freaking rake me over the coals for it. Like, so many people have been mad at me over it. You know, I'm not even like 100% just like, you know, I'm not really playing devil's advocate in these cases. It's like, I just think that there is a possibility of an alternate explanation for stuff, right? There's always like multiple sides to a story. And, right, like for instance, right, if the reporting came out and they were like, oh, you know, in the case with the stabbing that happened at the school, right, and then the reports that come out are like, oh yeah, you know, like he was threatening him, and then they got into a fight, it was self-defense, and like even Tim Pool was like, yo, this is self-defense, right? Like, if I jumped on that immediately, then like I would have been retarded, right? And then like the facts of it came out later, and then we found out like, oh, you know, that's all fucking bullshit. Right. Anyway, so let's read this. I spoke with the mom of one of the girls, Maya, and got the entire story that the media has been covering up and lying about. Classic. So first of all, the reporting got the names of the girls mixed up. There were 3 girls who were there who were accosted and attacked by migrants. Okay. Lola is the hero of the video. She's the one with the axe defending her sister from migrant attackers. Ruby is Lola's older sister who was attacked and hospitalized. And Maya is Ruby's best friend who was with them and went to call the police after Ruby was attacked by migrants. Holy shit. Here's a summary of what happened from Maya's mother. Yes, so what happened was the girls were out walking, and then the man in the picture made comments to the younger girl, calling her sexy. What the fuck, bro? What? How old are these kids? Are these like actual kids? And you just have like some freak going up there just being like, yo, you're real sexy. Like, what the fuck? What the hell is going on? Wait, and then she got arrested? Like no. No, I believe it. I believe it. Fucking Europe, man. And then the girls started to tell this man to leave them alone and stop following them and making sexual remarks to them. And after that, the man's sister, the man's sister, who's also in the picture, came around the corner and physically attacked Ruby and the other sister. She grabbed her hair, dragged her to the floor, and what the fuck? And started to punch her. Then both the man and the woman were kicking her in the head when she was on the floor. At this point, my daughter, Maya, called the police. So my daughter's account after that is a bit blurry. But that is when Lola had the weapons. She pulled them out to protect Ruby. After that, the man came back at Lola, recording her to make sure she showed the weapons to the camera, antagonizing her. Ruby was hospitalized after the attack with severe concussion and a tennis ball-sized lump the back of her head and lots of bruises. What the fuck? What the fuck? Apparently, the CCTV footage of the event indeed does show the migrant couple are the ones who approached the kids, not the other way around. So this is like actually confirmed by CCTV footage, allegedly. And the couple were not harmed. The police stated no injuries were reported. Wait, what? Oh, okay, this is allegedly. The man from the couple has been cleared of any wrongdoing related to harassment claims. These findings directly contradict the viral narrative that portrayed the girl, or her youngsters from a migrant stalker. So is this false, this thing? Huh. There's a lot of conflicting information here. I feel like we'll get information on this soon, right? Chief Superintendent Nicola Russell of the Police of Scotland issued a public statement urging people not to share or speculate on unverified information, particularly regarding ethnicity. Okay. The incident highlights broader issues of online misinformation, especially in fast-moving viral events. While some view the girl sympathetically as a potentially scared or reactive, the official reports do not support the self-defense narrative. Okay, but this is like the BBC, though. Police issued misinformation warning over the girl's arrest by the BBC. I feel like it's too early to 100% confirm everything. That's what I think. That's why I'm hesitant to like go all in, right? But dude, like if this is confirmed, like dude, you know I'm gonna go all in if this is confirmed for sure, right? For sure, because if this was actually true and the actual mainstream narrative is right, this is an incredibly base situation, right? Let's finish this video first, and then we'll do a little bit more digging.
As most people would find this ridiculous, but it was later reported that she was arguing with the McDonald's staff and police, scratching and kicking them. As just because they're kids doesn't mean they're not capable of crime, and just because we identify better with one group, let it be law enforcement, students, or migrants, doesn't mean we should default to one side.
You want to know the thing though? The issue here, guys, is that the fact that you even would doubt the police here is the problem. Right? Like if the police say something or the government or the media says like, oh, you know, that's not actually what happened. The fact I don't believe them at all, that's a problem, right? Because they have pushed so much fucking bullshit, right? Like they have twisted the facts, pushed bullshit narratives, bullshit propaganda so much that like I can't even believe them anymore. Right? So like reality is like in question. Like the entirety of reality is in question at this point. Because what's going to happen is, okay, let's assume, I'm not saying this is what happened, but let's make the assumption that like that their report is true, right? And that the girls just, you know, they were kind of crazy and then they just pulled out weapons. And like, if we assume a scenario in which that is the absolute truth of what happened, like that's the red truth of what happened, like you still wouldn't believe it, right? There would be a ton of people that wouldn't believe it. Even if the cops were like, yo, listen, that's not what happened. Like that's fucked up. Like that's not what happened at all. Like, you know, these people were, these kids were fucking wilding out, right? Nobody's going to believe them. And that's because like the amount that they've bullshitted, the amount that they've overstepped, the amount that the distance that they have gone to protect criminals who have victimized, like, you know, the citizens of a country, right? The immigrants that have victimized the citizens of a country. The amount of times that this has happened and been covered up, been deflected by these people, it is what creates the whole thing of distrust, right? And this is the problem with so much in the world right now, right? Like the fact that you can't even talk about certain things, you can't question certain things, has caused a situation of distrust where like even if the truth was there in your face, you still wouldn't fucking believe it. The boy who cried wolf, says DJ. Well, yeah, exactly.
As I don't even really believe that Twitter community note either. But what we're seeing in Scotland or the UK as a whole makes me believe the absence of information means Twitter is correct. As look at Scotland in 2019. Two years later, the same side is protesting deportations. Then this year, when Trump arrives in Scotland, we see mass immigration protests just like in the US.
Quite an unusual thing for Scotland. For years we've been told in Scotland that left of centre, the refugees are welcome here. Well, today Falkirk have said enough is enough. People are here protesting this hotel just at the other...
Like, guys, the problem is that refugees come from a different country. And them being from a different country means that their culture is completely different. Their cultures, their standards, their philosophy, all of it, their way of life is all completely different. And the idea that like it's all just whatever, and that like, you know, it's all whatever, doesn't matter. Like you could just be from wherever and then like it just will be fine. That's ridiculous. And again, if you think about it for more than 5 seconds, it makes complete sense, right? That people come from different cultures. Like put it this way, right? Like if I took you, right, chat, like if I took one of you and I dropped you off in like, you know, the middle of the Amazon with like one of those like those tribes that like those untouched tribes, right? Would you be able to fit in right away? Like, are you gonna like get in there and just like, I don't know, like just start climbing trees and shit and like making poison blow darts? Like, are you gonna be able to do that right away? Yeah, they have like some crazy, like I'm just like, okay, for instance, like if you got dropped off in a cannibal culture, you're just gonna be able to like eat people? Like you're just gonna be able to do it like on the spot? Of course not. Right. And that's kind of my point, is it's a completely different culture. Obviously that was a very extreme example, right? I'm giving a very extreme example, but you know, that still applies on like a smaller level, right? The type of utopian thinking that all cultures are compatible, Mentis Wave made such a good video about that. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah. And it just makes so much sense, right? Like it's so obviously the case, right? Of course, there are some cultures that are like more compatible with others. Ones that had like ones that come from cultures with the same roots, right? Can be like kind of compatible, but again, even then, it's still kind of different, right? Yeah.
They've had hundreds of refugees staying here over the years, and people are really upset at the fact that some of them have been involved in really heinous acts now.
Isn't it interesting how...
Yeah, that's the irony, is that colonization is the thing that actually does assimilate people into like a culture over time. Obviously not like immediately, right? But over time. I think that some aspects of colonization are actually really good. I think that's just objectively true. Because like a lot of like what colonization can bring, and like, you know, there are some negatives obviously, right? Like people, you know, being oppressed or whatever. That's like obviously a thing, right? But with colonization comes like a more civilized culture, and also comes like technological advancement, right? So it comes with it like medicine, a bunch of like future technology that like they wouldn't have access to for like, you know, many years. It had a lot of positive effects as well as negative effects. I don't think that colonization like in of itself was a negative. I think it had both pluses and minuses. And when we think about colonization nowadays, a lot of people think of it as purely a negative endeavor. I don't think that's the case.
Globally, all these Western countries are experiencing the same exact issues simultaneously. It's almost as if there had to be a global agenda for this to take place. And whenever a crime, say a migrant attack on school kids, or a migrant swinging a machete at federal law enforcement, it conveniently gets on.
You beg to differ, the French fucked Haiti. Well, that's France though.
Omitted from the mainstream media, as it harms a liberal agenda, as they can villainize conservatives or police all they want, but once they start saying the kids are bad because they feel unsafe, that's what sparks a revolution. So if you appreciate my concise, light order...
I have friends in Hong Kong who insist things were better under British rule. Yeah, dude, 100%, dude, 100% Iron Tiger, for real, dude. The Hong Kong thing was a disaster, dude. Yeah, we're just gonna, you know what, man, that was a disaster. Holy crap. So many people like didn't want that to happen. Let's say there's a culture, right? Like, I'm just gonna like use the most extreme example of it. And the reason I'm gonna use the most extreme example of it is because it kind of proves the point that I'm making, right? So if you have a culture, for instance, that they eat people, right? And there are cultures that do this, by the way. Like, this isn't like bullshit, right? Like this is a real thing even right now. This isn't like ancient, 200, 300, 400 years ago. This is like literally right now. There's cultures where like they prize like eating people. Right? That's like a thing, right? Now, if those guys got colonized, I'd say that's a huge W. And that's kind of my point. That's my point about like colonization, like being like not always like a universal bad. It depends situation, right? In that it can bring good things and it can bring bad things. It just depends how it's used, just like a weapon, right? But like if there was like, you know, a like tribal clan of people that like ate other people, then big W if they got colonized, honestly. Because what's the alternative? The alternative is like you freaking wipe them out, right? Am I wrong? I don't know. Like I'm just telling how it is, man. Like, are you gonna let them live? Like, what are you gonna do, man? You can't have that, you know? Like I don't get this. I don't get this whole thing that we started doing and just saying like, oh, cultures are valid. They're not fucking all valid. Like what the hell? You know what I mean? Like what the completely incompatible. Honestly, like if you had a culture that was like, yeah, you know, our whole thing is that we just make women into like sex slaves, and then, you know, we just diddy little girls all day, and that's like our thing. Like, dude, of course I'd want them to get wiped out. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you retarded? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, but you know, it's just a different culture. That's just, you know, that's just how they do things, dude. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, this is how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it. The point was twofold. One is that not all cultures are compatible, and two, that like colonization is not always bad. That's the point of what I'm trying to say. We'll follow the story and we'll keep an eye on it. I'm still not sure as to like what happened in it, like how true it is what happened. Again, like we looked into things a bit. And it seemed like it was kind of inconclusive. But you know, who trusts the media nowadays, right? Who trusts what's out there? So we're just gonna have to like be wary of it and be vigilant and like looking at like what's the actual truth that happened here. And if it is indeed the truth that happened, is that like little girls are having to fucking defend themselves with weapons in Scotland, like that's obviously ridiculous, right? And like that's something we're definitely gonna follow up on and call out if that's the truth.